Dr. The Real Deal Love, Edward Johnson. Sit back and relax while we give you advice and tips on business matters and matters of the heart for busy executives. And now, Katrina and Edward.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Katrina Brittingham, your navigator on the road to success, your business coach. Yes, and we have our Dr. The Real Deal Love, our love coach.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
So we are here today with 16 routines that will set you up for success.
16?
Yay, 16.
All right.
Now, these are tips, so you can take as many as you want or not at all, but just get an idea of a strategy for setting yourself up for success.
Okay.
So, we know that your routine, your morning routine, influences how successful you will be throughout the day. If you didn't know, now you know.
hmm
Everything that you do, from what you have for breakfast to who you speak to, can change your mood and has the power to deliver physical and mental agility that you need to optimize your day. If you're planning on starting a morning routine or any kind of routine throughout the day, understand that there are elements that will set you up for success. Okay? You want to select something that best suits your needs. All right? So let's just start from the basics. What is a morning routine? What is a success routine? What is a routine at all? Well, a routine is a set of actions or habits that you perform on a regular basis. It could be every morning, every week, every month,
hmm
so on and so on. Your routine may be more or less detailed than, say, other people, say mine. Depending on what your personality is, your home life is, and what you have going on, even in your business. Things just may be different, or what you have in your career, because these can flow over to you if you're working a career as well. Some of these tips I have worked while I was working for corporate, and then others I incorporated and had to like redo once I started business and being full time in business. Okay. Some people's may include a minute by minute plan of activities, including foods. Mine was not that. I would plan out the day. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. Um, Pretty much mine was like kind of an hour to hour thing. Like, okay, I got to get up at 8 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, I got to be out the door. Or by 11 o'clock, I have to be at this meeting. Things like that. And I would kind of plan tasks within that hour. That helped me um, to do some things. And we're going to go into that a little more in a little more detail. All right. So for others, it just could be a few activities that they must do and prioritize for that day, for that week, for that month. Some people are better at doing that. Okay. So we want to go into, why is a morning routine important? Dr. Love, would you know why a morning routine is important?
Mm, well, I would say a morning routine that you structure and create for yourself, but everyone, whether you realize it or not, have a morning routine.
Yes. Whether it's organized or not,
That's right.
whether it is setting you up for success or setting you up for failure, you do. But we have here that a morning routine is important because if you have one that sets you up for success, it can prepare you to perform your best.
hmm
All right. Both mentally and physically. Like Dr. Love said, we all have a morning routine, but is your morning routine being late for work every day, being late for
hmm
meetings because you don't have that organization? Okay. Do you say, I'm going to exercise, but did never find time to exercise? That's a routine. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not one that sets you up for success.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So implementing a success plan can, and that's why I'm changing it from routine to success plan, can bring you a lot of benefits. A safer morning commute because you're not going 100 miles an hour on the expressway or
Mm-hmm.
65 miles an hour in a school zone because you're trying to hurry up and get to your meeting. I have not gone that fast in the school zone, but I have, kind of broken the speed limit on the highway trying to make it to a meeting or to work. I am guilty of that, so no judgment here.
Mm-hmm.
Until I put
Mm-hmm.
my routine in, I was like, okay, you can't keep rushing to try to get somewhere. It's just not good. Okay, or trying to eat better helps set you up for success. I started doing that. I was like, okay, we got to get back down to some basics and start eating better, and everything like that. What's convenient may not always be what's right for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some common things that will help with your routine that, or the benefits, let me put it that way. It increases your motivation. Yes. When you have that plan, you have the things together, it does motivate you, especially as you start meeting goals, actually getting things done. Have you ever been there and be like, dang, I didn't get nothing done I was supposed to get done today?
Mm-hmm.
What does that do to your motivation? Doesn't do too much for it. Okay. So as you get stuff done, dang, I got stuff done and I still got time left
Mm.
in the
Productive
day.
day.
That motivates you. All right, we're going to this works for me. Let's keep on doing this. All right. It can improve your productivity because you're getting more done within the day. We all have 24 hours in a day. So there is enough
Mm-hmm.
hours in a day. There was a saying, it's not enough hours in a day. It actually is. It's all in how you plan your day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've learned that. I was like, dang, I got this done. Wow. And I still have time. Let me go read this book I've been wanting to read.
Mm-hmm.
So it will help you with that. It can give you a more optimistic and grateful attitude. Why? Because you're not down in the dumps. You're not like, dang, it's another day. I didn't meet that goal. So overall mental well being, okay? It can help you feel better physically. Why? Because you're not running around. How many times have we felt like we was running around all day and still didn't get stuff done?
Mm-hmm.
We were rushing. Okay, you started out your day. The first meeting was late. Now every meeting is going to be late. And so you're running every meeting. Been there, done that. Got tired of doing that. It can reduce the number of decisions you need to make every morning. That's a big one. And now we're going to go into those tips. Any comments before we go into those tips?
No, I think it's just excellent because, just when it comes down to a success plan, I just said that to myself. You just want to have you just want to have a structured day, a
Mm-hmm.
structured day where, like you're performing at your best, and you hit
Mm-hmm.
just excellent plans when it comes down to eating fuel. I call it food or fuel. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you really start streamlining your performance, you say, listen, I need fuel. I don't need just food. I need fuel.
Mm-hmm.
I need to eat some blueberries and some blackberries and some grapes. You know what I mean? I just put a whole bunch of things together because I want to fuel myself because I don't want to be sitting there like, oh, my stomach. You want
Mm-hmm.
fuel. You want your performance to just be like phew, picture perfect.
And I'm glad you said it because a lot of times how people say, oh, I got the lunchtime blahs. Well, even if you eat healthy, it's the portions too, because you can have the blahs because you ate too much fruit,
Hmm.
too much salad, too much grains and everything like that. So it's everything in moderation. And so we're going to actually get into that, and
Okay.
how you set yourself up for success where you have that energy and fuel. And just because you're eating healthy does not mean that it has to taste like garbage. Because if it does, Katrina's not going to do it. Plain and
Hmm.
simple. I'm of the mindset God gave me taste buds for a reason. And that is the reason why food is supposed to taste good. Okay. All right. So, number one, is consider your priorities. When you start building a success plan, decide what your professional and personal priorities are. Group those in.
Mm.
Okay? Don't just look at the professional side. Don't just look at the personal side. Consider all of that in your day because it'll help you plan your day. Okay? So by incorporating the priorities, what are the top things that I need to get done today? What are the nice to haves? Okay? You can make your day feel more purposeful. You can start and work towards your personal goals as well as your professional goals. You might need to think about this for several minutes, several days, maybe even several weeks, depending on what's going on. Because with your priorities and creating a success plan, it's fluid, I will say, because things may be different. They might be different seasons. Summer's coming up real fast upon us. So the personal priorities that you have might be different because you might have kids that were in school. Now you got to try to figure out what to do with your children, during the day, what activities they have, this, that, and the third. Junior may be going off to college. So now I got to plan for that and take them up there and this, that, and the third. Or Sally may have just graduated from preschool to elementary school. That's a whole different schedule. Or Junior may have graduated junior high school and went to high school. Whole different priorities. Okay, so things are fluid when you talk about priorities and things like that. And so it may be things that you have to plan out weeks and maybe even months in advance to be prepared for that. Okay. But if you're talking about the day-to-day thing, like say, okay, it's, fall, things aren't going to start taking place until like Christmas time or whatever, you can make your plan out for the morning and have something that's consistent. Number two, make your morning routine manageable. That was what I was going to say to come in, making things manageable. So it's fluid because you have to shift priorities sometimes. Okay. And so if you have that plan, okay, for the month of May, this is what I have to get done. These things are changing. How do I fit my routine? Because again, remember, even with things changing, you still have to get breakfast. You still have to get this. What time do I have to get up? Do I have to get up earlier? Am I getting more sleep because I don't have to get up early to take Sally Jane to school? You can work that priority. Okay. It's not as hard as it seems. I used to think, oh gosh, this is so hard. But once I started doing those things and taking those steps, number one, I wasn't as tired. I wasn't as overwhelmed. Okay. And it was easier to do than I even thought. Like when I started doing my morning walks, which I got to get back to that, moving really threw some things off. Things happen to throw things off. I used to get up at a certain time every day, get up and go for my walk. And we're going to talk about that later, how I was able to do that. All right. So it's important that your morning routine is something that is achievable for you so that you can keep it up in the long run. Sometimes we make lofty goals and it's something that was not achievable and not attainable, not realistic for us at this time. Think of New Year's resolutions. That's why I don't make resolutions no more, because I have to make something that's realistic. It's said to say, oh, I want to lose 200 pounds in 90 days. How realistic is that for you? You haven't been to the gym or taken a walk or ran a block in 10 years or 20 years. You have to kind of make a plan that's going to work. Okay. Sometimes it's chopping it down into little goals, knowing what your fitness level is, knowing what your mind brain power is. So consider how much time you have to do that. All right. To do your things in the morning, or, where your fitness level is, if you have to bring in a personal trainer, how much that's going to cost, those kind of things. How much time do you have in the morning to do an exercise, or do you need to do it during your lunch break? Are you willing to take your lunch break to exercise? Are you able to do it in the evening? Or are you just too conked out? All right. Or do you have too many priorities? These are the things that you need to consider. And I'm just using that as an example, but you can take that to other things as well. Putting that together so it sets you up for success. If you have trouble adding things to your success routine all at once, that can be overwhelming. You can gradually add things to it. So you can start by adding an item a week, an item every bi-weekly, or an item a month until you get used to doing those things and incorporating it into your plan. All right. I see your wheels turning, Dr. Love. You got something to say?
Well, I was just thinking when it comes down to um, just the conversation you need to have with yourself is, I would always say, I'm a professional. And when you go to a lawyer's office, he's a professional. I mean, you don't hear uh music playing loud somewhere. He's not late oftentimes. It's like, I'm a professional. I want to come across like a professional. I want to structure my life like a professional.
Mhm.
What do you really want? You know what I'm saying? And that, I think that's really what it boils down to. What do you really want? Do you really want to walk in the morning for 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Do you really want to do it? Because if you don't really want to do it, you know you need to do spend some time on convincing yourself it would be good for you to do it. But what do you really want? And I really want to be a professional that gives the best service to my clients, so I have to be at my best in order to deliver my best to my clients. So that's what I just want to share. What do you really want? Do you really want to be a professional growing to the next level, and then to the next level, and to the next level,
Mhm.
you know? And you've got to handle your life. You got to handle your dentist appointments. You got to handle what time you get up. You got to hand all that. You've got to structure that in, because it makes a better life for you. So that just an excellent point.
And that is excellent. When you were talking, it made me think of, I was always told you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of you.
Hmm.
And that's what the success plan is about. Um, as far as your priorities, like you have to take care of your kids, you have to take care of your clients. You can't take care of them if you're broke down. And so that's why having this success plan, and I know because when we talk about business, people are like, well, what does walking have to do with business? It has something to do with it, because if you're not healthy and you're sick, then who's going to service your clients? Who's going to
Hmm.
help your person? If you pass out because you're not eating all day because you're so busy running because you never plan to build your meals into there, who's going to take care of all of the things that you have to get done? So, like you said, it's your why. All right. Um, for me, my why was that I wanted to be there for my clients. I wanted to be there for my family. When I realized that, okay, I'm rushing around and now I'm winded. Why am I winded? Okay, because all right, I have to get this fitness plan in. I was going to the gym, I fell off from it, and I was like, okay, do you really like going to the gym, Trina? The answer was no. I like working out outside. I like nature. I like
Hmm.
feeling like I'm being accomplished when I'm doing something. So I can walk miles if I have somewhere to go, like a distance. So I would give myself, okay, I'm going to walk from here and I'm going to make it all the way back around my house.
Hmm.
That's me. It's a goal. I'm like, my goal is my house. Can't wait till I get home and
Hmm.
everything. That works for me and
Not the
everything.
treadmill. You don't like the treadmill.
I would be a meme if I was on a treadmill. I'd be one of them people who fell off of it. I could never stay on a treadmill.
I'm with
Um,
you.
and so, no, that didn't work for me. I used to do, other things, that worked, but I would find myself being bored. Like it would be the longest half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour a day.
That's right.
With this, before I knew it, I was done because I had a destination in mind. So part
Hmm.
of doing this, it leads us into number three is preparation,
Hmm.
preparing ahead of time. All right, I know that I can walk in the morning. So part of preparation is, okay, what track am I going to take? Um, and I started out small when it was just like, okay, build it in. I walked for 15 minutes at first because of how I walked in the terrain. That was the hardest 15 minutes of my life.
Mm-hmm.
After about a week or so, I was adding in another 5 minutes. I did 5 minutes. I didn't, take it up. And I found myself walking for a whole hour. But the
Mm-hmm.
motivation from that is I have to be fit so I can do the things that I need to do. I can have the energy after working. I can go to my family events. I can do what I needed to do. So what did I do to prepare for that? Um, I read something somewhere like, okay, if you're going to get up and work out in the morning, because that was my big thing. Oh, I got to get up. I got to put my workout clothes on and I got to do this. They was like, just, instead of wearing pajamas, wear your workout gear to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Tried it. Got up, did the whole brushing and all of that. Went out, did my walk, came back in, did my shower and everything like that. And I'm like, wow, this really works. Like I found myself motivated because when I got up out of the bed, the first thing I saw was workout clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, now I have to go out because I got on these workout clothes. That
Yeah.
was my mindset. So that was the preparation the night before. If you need to make breakfast and lunch, you can do that in advance, not the morning of. You can do it the night before. Okay. With me, I knew, at the time, I was by myself, so I would do um, the where they bring the meals to your house and it's like the ingredients and you can cook it is like a half an hour. On Sunday, I would take and I would make those meals for my lunch and my dinner that day. So now I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat for the day. I'm just pulling out a side. Okay, this is lunch. This is dinner. Lunch and dinner may have went with me depending on what I had done that day, had to do that
Mm-hmm.
day. I might have had to go to a client after there or an association meeting or a speaking engagement or something like that. So I have my meal with me so I don't have to worry about, oh, where am I going to get something to eat real quick and have enough time. I just had to be able to warm it up. And I always had somewhere to kind of warm it up or whatever. Or I would take something that didn't need it to be heated for dinner. Those things help you out. I would sit out my clothes. I would sit out the makeup that I wore that matched the clothes. Um, any accessories I had for my hair, all of that stuff was set out all the way down to the shoes was set out that night before. So I didn't have to think. I could just, get out of, the shower, get dressed, put my makeup on, and I'm out the door. It saved me so much time instead of, oh, well, what color am I going to wear? What am I going to match up? Da 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 da. Even any cooking supplies, even if I did cook after work, I would have those things prepared the night before. You will be surprised how much planning your wardrobe for that day or even that week takes so much off your mind, so much brain power off your mind. So you have brain power for something else. You want to help yourself if you want to start work immediately or be prepared for whatever it is you have to do. Is track your deadlines. What do I have to do? Set that priority in those tasks. Writing a to-do list. It doesn't have to be an extensive one, but it could just be, okay, this is the priority. It's the first thing I got to do when I come in. This is the second thing I have to do. That's a must that has to get done. All right. If you have time after that, you can get some other stuff done or get prepared on the next day. One of the big things is getting a full night's sleep. I know people talk about this all the time. This is all about preparation. You'll have some people, oh, you shouldn't sleep 8 hours. Oh, you should only sleep 4. You should sleep for what your body needs. Some people's body needs 8. Some people's body needs 7. I can go 6 to 5 and
Mm-hmm.
still be functioning. I may be able to do 4, but I can't do that on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
So you sleep for yourself. Because even when I tried to do 8 hours and everything like that, I'm up and I'm up early and everything like that. My body just never did that 8 to 7 hour thing. So do what you need to do for you to feel energized. Never go
That's
by
important.
somebody else's plan. Somebody else might be able to go 4 hours and be hacking it out. And then you try their plan and you're ready to pass out by 10
Mm-hmm.
o'clock
Yeah,
in the
you're
morning.
killing yourself. You're killing
Right.
yourself.
So do what works for your body. I'm going to say that again. Do what works for your body. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's even eating. how you eat, whatever. Oh, I do this, I do that. Do what works for your body, and your body will let you know if it's working.
That's so important to say. Know yourself,
Yes.
and that was kind of like hinging on when you were talking about, are you a gym person or are you an outdoor person?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a gym person. I don't have a membership to a gym. Wouldn't buy a membership to a gym. I'm not a gym person. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
exercise outside. I'm going to do my extensics in my yard. I'm not a gym person. If you're a gym person, then that's good for you. You're going to go down and sign up for a gym, and then you're going to get there and you're going to do what you need to do. You've got to know what works best for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The old proverb says, "Know thyself."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's an excellent point. Uh, I, how you going to accomplish sleeping 8 hours a day? Listen, it. It's really not the amount of hours that you sleep. It's not the amount of hours that you work. It's really
Mm-hmm.
the amount of accuracy and focus. Okay. Wallace
Mm-hmm.
D. Wallace said this in his book. He said, the key to success is not doing certain things, it's doing things a certain way. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So all this hustle and bustle, I gotta go and do it. No, 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 no. You don't have to do that. You just gotta be accurate, focused, and very precise on what you're doing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I told someone the other day in a session, I said, uh, 5 minutes of thinking is equivalent to 24 hours of doing.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a great moment where you think about it, think about it, think about it, and you'll be so much on point and carrying it off more accurate than somebody who hasn't given it any thought and just went around in circles for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be
Mm-hmm.
effective. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
you've got to know yourself, what works for you. Okay.
Exactly. And for some people you might not know. So it might be trial and error for you. Like I said, no judgment. I had to be there for myself because I was like, well, why can't I do the gym? Don't beat yourself up if you're not a gym person.
Okay.
And everything like that because people say, oh, go to the gym and everything. And it's like, it just never worked for me. And because it didn't work for me, I didn't get the results that I wanted. And it wasn't that I even wasn't consistent. I was going 5 days a week.
Mm.
But I was doing every other day walking and I got more out of it. Why? Because I had more pep in my step. I wasn't just doing it just to do it.
Mm.
I went in there with a focus. We are at the top of the hour, so we are going to go to break and we're going to come back and close out. And we're going to pick up on number 4 next week,
Okay.
which will be our last show for the season. We are going to be off for the summer, but we will replay some things just in case you have not um, caught something. You will be able to catch it because we will be replaying some things from the season. So, without any further ado, we're going to go to a 30-minute break. Bye bye.
Bye.
From one-on-one executive coaching to our business building concierge service, Venture Ready helps entrepreneurs, startup executives, and business owners build, scale, and run their businesses using techniques that support stability and long-term growth. Through the Career GPS radio show and High Tea with Me TV program, we promote smart business strategies for the real world. Then, in our one-on-one coaching programs, we help entrepreneurs go beyond the vision board to realize their big vision into a tangible business with a promising future. If you're waiting to feel legit, here's the thing: you have to legitimize yourself. It's time to stop treating your business like a hobby. Get real, it's your career. So let me ask you, are you venture ready?
All right, we are back. Are you venture ready? This is all about being venture ready. Being serious about your business, being serious about yourself, being serious about success. But we are trying to be consistent and be on time and fit your schedule as well as ours and fit that half an hour. So we are going to pick this up next week, starting with number 4. We do thank you for joining us. Any closing words, Dr. Love?
No, I think it was an excellent show. I'm looking forward to the rest of the points that we have. And remember, your life is worth living, but you just want to make sure that you have everything that you need so that you're happy, fulfilled, and engaged. So that's all I wanted to share.
All right. So we will see you next week.
Bye for
Bye-bye.
now.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a sponsor or a guest, contact us at info@ventureready.net. Thank you again, and we'll